You say there's any background noise again?
None, none. But I can hear your own voice. Dr. Adedayo, Mrs. Adedayo in Hollywood.
Yes.
Okay, I think we are. It's time. All right. This is 69, isn't it? BSS 69. You have to leave where there is noise, because I'll still be talking to you. All right, we go live now. Thank you. We can start recording. Hello, good afternoon from Lagos. This is Touchstone Business Sustainability Series.
Can I admit others now?
Yeah, you can admit others and then you start recording. You can admit others. Hello and welcome. This is Touchstone Business Sustainability Series, and wherever you are joining us, whether it's good morning or good afternoon, it's good afternoon from Lagos, Nigeria, and it's steaming very hot. Once again, welcome to an exciting time that we have today. And today we have a very distinguished guest. You are going to have a very, very good time. For those who are joining us for the first time, this is Touchstone Business Sustainability Series 69 with Dr. Mrs. Oluranti Adedayo, a distinguished academic. I'm going to say a couple of things, about her before I bring her up. She's already in the house. And the topic for today is make informed business decision with statistics. We're in the world of big data, and it's important that at the very, very least that we have people getting to understand why it is important to measure. Whatsoever you can't measure can never be improved upon. The reason why the Western world is a lot ahead of the other parts of the world, like on the continent of Africa, is that everything is measured. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Touchstone Business Sustainability Series, and is brought to you by Touchstone Brand Strategy and Communication and Master Skill Consulting. My name is Tunde Ojo, and it's a great privilege to host you, and I lead the Touchstone team. Now, it's for those who are joining us, this is our opportunity, our initiative to dimension the key drivers of growth and challenges in the business world. And this was brought about by the pandemic, in which the world has gone very, very volatile, very uncertain, and there's a need for businessmen, thought leaders, managers, entrepreneurs, whether in politics or people in all spheres of life, to look at issues arising from the changes in the environment, and also to provide offers, solutions. This is BSS 69, and basically, you're wondering what Touchstone is all about. We're basically a global idea and brand strategy communication consulting firm, and we are here to make our businesses, our clients and their businesses, to be more successful in a very complex and changing marketplace. So we, a bit of ground rule to ensure that everything is okay. We want to be sure that, please, mute your microphone as well as your video, and so that we can focus on the presenter, on the speaker of today. You can put up a question or a comment in the chat room. Let it be very hot right from the beginning. You can ask questions, and if there are opportunities for us to have intervention, we ensure that we have that. Let me quickly bring to you Dr. Mrs. Oluranti Adedayo. Dr. Mrs. Oluranti Adedayo, retired from Federal College of Education, Technical, Akoka, all right? And she had a tertiary education at the University of Ife, where she read Bachelor's of Science degree course in mathematics education. A course she chose because of her love for mathematics. So this is a woman, it's very rare to have ladies, and I don't think you think I'm being sexist to say a lot of ladies run away from the very, very hard stuff. But that is changing now. Quite a whole lot of ladies are in the business of STEM. She obtained her master's and doctoral degrees in education evaluation with emphasis on mathematics education from the University of Ibadan. During her master's degree program in 1981, she came top of her class by scoring the highest grade point average, despite the fact she was a mother of two. I mean, that is important, that she was combining so many things. She was also the first in her sect to complete the doctoral program, which she did on a work study basis. She taught mathematics at both secondary school, tertiary levels, and Federal Ministry of Education to FC. She was posted by Federal Ministry of Education to FCE Akoka to teach mathematics. She was the head of mathematics unit of the former Department of Mathematics and Science of this institution. She was also a former dean of the School of Science Education and a member of the governing council of the college. Dr. Ms. Adedayo has made remarkable contribution to promotion of mathematics education in the country. Our area of research is on how to promote positive cognitive and affective outcomes in teaching of mathematics at all levels of educational system, and how to help the low demonstrated outstanding academic, and she has also demonstrated academic leadership. She has presented over 40 papers. Please kindly mute your microphone. Over 40 academic papers, including lead papers in conferences, both at national as well as international level. She gave the first distinguished lecture in the college, where a lot of distinguished academics were present. She has over 35 publications at local, international, and international levels. She has authored and co-authored 7 books that are being used in tertiary institutions. 2 of her textbooks, Understanding Statistics and Operation Research, have gained so much popularity that students and lecturers from other tertiary institutions often call at her office to pick up copies from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is good to know that she has served as a member and chairperson of many committees, both within our college where she served and many others. At the national level, she's a member of the Planning and Implementation Committee of the Junior Engineer, Technicians and Scientists, JETS, and also serve as technical advisor in mathematics and many others like that. She is part of the proprietors that pioneered the newly established Trinity University, Yaba. She belongs to many professional bodies, Mathematical Association of Nigeria, Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, just to mention a few. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Dr. Mrs. Oluranti Adedayo. And she's going to be taking us through how to make informed business decisions with statistics. Welcome, Dr. Ms. Adedayo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pastor Tunde Oju. I feel privileged to be given this opportunity to come to this platform to share from the little experience I gathered over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about how to make informed business decisions using statistics. Actually, towards the end of my year, especially when I did a course in mathematical statistics, my interest in statistics was heightened. And then I've taught it for so many years, over 30 years, to undergraduates, postgraduates, and even some doctoral students. And I've learned a lot of how it can be useful in very many areas in the country. So today I want to talk about using statistics to make informed decision. Every business, as we know, is earmarked to make profits. Everybody wants to make profit. We want to minimize loss. So there's need to ensure that we put in place the things that we have to promote growth and sustainability in any of the business enterprise that we are involved in. Part of the steps involved in making necessary informed decisions is to mitigate the available positive things that are there, that we ensure that risks are minimized and favorable conditions are achieved using the appropriate strategies. We know that we are in a dynamic world and things are changing. So the emerging new technologies in this world is heralding new methods of doing things. The old methods may not work, but the new methods have to work. And so there's need to examine available information before making business decisions. We don't want to make the type of mistake that Kodak made in 2012. I'm sure we are familiar with Kodak, how they were the leading photography industry in those days. But now, where are they? What happened was that things changed. We have a digital age, and they could not adapt because they were not well informed. They did not take to that were given, and so they ended up having challenges that resulted in their seeking for bankruptcy in 2012. In decision making, my dear participants, optimal strategies are always desirable. The best strategies, and this can only be achieved when you are well informed. There are available tools that can be used to help us to be informed with respect to making the effective decision. Well-informed and decision making does not depend on intuition. It's not what I think or anything. If you want to achieve good decision-making process, you need to be informed using in a scientific manner. But it needs patience, it needs objectivity, and that we can deal with the uncertainties that occur in business using statistical tools. So the focus of today's presentation is on use of popular statistical tools that most of us may be aware of in business that can enhance informed decision-making to move the company forward. What do we mean by informed decision? As the word says, you are informed, you are clear, you have clear guidelines, you have insight into the nature of the problem that is at hand. And the informed decision is based on facts, it's based on information that will guide you in taking appropriate steps. And when we talk of information, data comes into play. And when we talk of data, statistics comes into play because statistics is based on data analysis, data processing, data use, data interpretation, data presentation. So in everyday living, this decision, we have to take one decision or the other, and it's necessary for us to get relevant information to guide our decision-making process. For example, now we are in a company and we have so many workers. HR has their list, has data on the company workers. Then we have another data for sales, what sales they are making, how they have been improving their work. We need data. We need data to guide us as to how to reward these workers. Because there will be need to promote some. There will be need to even reward some at the end of some years of service. There's need for historical data as to how they have performed. And this can only come through use of statistical tools. So in some businesses, there are risk factors. And if these risk factors are not properly addressed, it will lead to downfall in the system. So an informed decision can minimize the risk using concept of probability probability deals with uncertainty. Life is full of the knowledge of probability. Will be able to minimize the risk. Not making informed decision involves reliance on human intuition. So when you rely on human intuition or your knowledge, it does not help you to make informed decisions. Some companies fail due to blunders and poor political decisions, according to some researchers that worked on it. Business decisions may affect yourselves, not only yourself, those that are depending on you for living, your family, your children, your dependents, the stakeholders, the investors. If there are blunders made that cause problems in any organization, many people, not just you, but many. And so we must put in place measures that will enhance the good of others through effective and informed decision making. It is worthy to note that some of the adverse effects of wrong decision making without being informed can lead to many problems, psychological problems, health problems. Some, when their business fail, they end up having hypertension or stroke, or they end up becoming pathological patients. So there are other psychological issues too. So one should patiently have the mindset to plan for uncertainty. The statistics, probability deals with uncertainty by focusing on the benefits in informed decision making and making predictions that will help the company to move forward. So good knowledge of relevant statistical tools will minimize inaccuracies in decision making. There are other many, for example, in statistics, we have what we call inferential statistics, where you make inferences. It will enable us to tackle uncertainty, identify areas of challenges, and guide us to making informed decisions. Business decisions are often made in uncertainty, as one of my books, like the person frying akara by the roadside is trying with the hope that she will probably sell off, which may not happen, may or may not happen. Anybody wants to marry a wife will think that she will likely make a good wife, and will find it may or it may not happen. In the same way, you start a company with the hope of not making profit, that you cannot say with certainty. So that's why you need knowledge of statistics to be able to guide you as to how to ensure that your uncertainties are tackled and information is given that could guide various decision making that have to be made in your company. Spending decisions on organization, for example, they are based on cash flow prediction, and you have to be careful. There must be data to back up whatever you plan to do. Inadequate informed decision when taken makes a business to go haywire, and this can end up with inconvenience or loss or even bankruptcy. So quantitative analysis of risk factors using concepts of probability, using concepts of regression model, which are statistical tools, can help us to minimize the risks that occur in business. So there's need for constant updating of tools, constant updating of knowledge of tools for analyzing statistical data. And this is going on in the world with the advent of data mining process, data warehousing, and we also have statistical quality control and so many new things, data science, that will help in ensuring that appropriate methods are used to enable us to have informed decisions. What are the steps that can be used? These are common steps. You must identify the problem. You must know what is the problem. Perhaps the problem in the production company may be, we targeted 2,000 production of 2,000 cars, and here we are producing 1,000 cars. Or it could be people complaining about our headlamps that they blow off fast. So these are problems that you need to know. Then you set goal. We are going to work on these areas. And then you make smart objectives. We know what smart objectives are from our knowledge of business. We gather relevant information and data. We critically examine and then analyze using analytics that can help to solve the problem. And finally, we execute and evaluate, because whatever decision you take, there's need for evaluation to ensure that you have made the best or the optimal decision. So what is statistics? Statistics, I said, involves data. When you mention data, statistics comes in. It's a scientific approach, as I define in my book, to information that deals with theoretical and practical aspects for dealing with data in order that appropriate decisions can be made. What are the decisions? Decisions as to whether we are moving forward or we are having challenges in our institution. So data science enhances taking correct decisions with the various processes that it passes through. It's a new area, and it's very important because the data are critically examined using modern ideas and tools of information and communication technology. Information can be collected, classified, organized, summarized, and presented for decision making. For example, now you want to know whether you are making profit in your sales. There's need to gather data. You want to know whether customers are satisfied with your goods and services. There's need to make data. For informed decision as to how you can improve and get more customer base, because we are in a competitive world and there are people around that we are competing with. We have to ensure that we have optimal strategies to enhance our profitability. Statistics, whether descriptive, there are two branches, like two arms. Descriptive or inferential is useful in many areas with respect to this business: research, predictive studies, forecasting, budgeting, and so many others, even putting in place policies. Now, let's see how has statistics affected the educational system in Nigeria. We note that even from primary level, in the math subject, statistics feature there in one way or the other, although to a small extent. Why? Because it is known that this knowledge of statistics will enhance intelligence of the students and also the ability to be able to use it for the business and in everyday living. Primary school do it everyday statistics. For the secondary school, we have the junior secondary school curriculum. We have statistics. They deal with the lower ones, measures of central tendency, presentation of data, forming frequency distribution, and so on. Undergraduates, whether you are in School of Business, you are in economics, you are in accounting, you are in various areas, strategic studies, you are exposed to relevant statistical techniques. That's why our students must do it in order to prepare them to acquire the skills that they will need in making informed decisions in life, and also the skills that will guide them in excelling in the world of work. Ladies and gentlemen, statistics and business. Why statistics? Why business? Statistics play a great role in business and other facets of life, but in business is very important. You must have statistics. The hairdresser writing down the number of customers she gets on daily basis. On Monday, so customer came. She's using statistics. She's collecting data. Data collection is occurring there. So everybody needs statistics, so it will be guiding you as to whether you are advancing or you are going back. Or companies having many branches, you need statistics on how they are performing, so that you know whether one branch can be closed down if it's going to be a challenge to the growth of the upcoming of the organization. So the appropriate statistical tool enables a business decision to make accurate, yes, accurate. And you need statistics and modern statistical tools that are emerging in the new technologies to be able to make reliable policies based on the results. Many organizations have large mass of data, and to use it for informed decision, you need to use the correct techniques for doing it. The operations and strategy of the company can be evaluated also using statistics. A manager in an organization can use statistical to assess employees' performance by collecting the number of data on the number of tasks that he has successfully completed, or the number of ways in which he has made impact in the running of the institution. Management decision has impact on the running of an organization, as I said. Ability to collectively effect relevant statistical to enhance ability to make informed decisions. In these subsequent sessions, I'm also going to talk about the modern ways in which statistics is being merged or married to computer, to information technology, in order to produce more robust tools for making informed decisions. Descriptive or deductive statistics deals with aspects of statistics that summarizes the characteristics of a data set. Statistics has two broad divisions: descriptive and deductive. In the descriptive, you just describe, you compare, but you don't make inferences. But in informed differential statistics, we also call it inductive statistics. That one deals about collecting a small population using appropriate tool of data collection, using the appropriate sampling techniques, because it's very, very important to sample appropriately in order not to have a bias or one-sided sample. Descriptive statistics helps to give visual impacts to data. You can see it in form of tables, graphs, standard statistical procedures, and it enhances comparison, it enhances presentation of data, of results, of functioning, of profitability of a company using statistical data. In differential statistics, as I said, you can draw conclusions from analyzed data. Hypothesis on a carefully selected sample, and the choice of the type of statistics depends on the nature of the decisions to be made. Descriptive statistics in business. Business organizations need to constantly evaluate their activities. Through various types of research and descriptive statistics, they can help to construct good questionnaire. There are principles for questionnaire construction that are known. To carry out a survey, to carry out information to know how your company is doing, information on customer satisfaction. Airlines do that a lot. After you have flown, they will send, especially on international travels, they send some things to you to help them to seek your opinion about how they have done and what can be done to improve their performance. They are trying to get informed data from this type of research, and those things are descriptive statistics. If you look at questionnaire construction, there are principles involved in constructing it. Which one learns if you have appropriate knowledge of statistics? So in issue of data collection, in issue of using appropriate instruments for data collection, statistics enhances that. And with this data collection, when it is well and properly analyzed, it will help in making informed decisions. So, numerical values with respect to measures of central tendency helps a lot. For example, in descriptive, we talk about the popular mean median mode. Mean tells us how are we doing in a company, how are we making it. Then the mode gives us the how popular a particular item is. Somebody is making some products. Knowing the mode will help you to know that people will prefer this item. This is the popular item, and it's better I make that in order to make my sales and the profits in my business. That is making decision. Then when you talk about the median, it's also a measure of descriptive statistics. It gives us informed decision to make on how to increase the service of production, how skilled the income are. If the income is too skilled, you may need to take some decision on what you can do to minimize the gap in income. So in the next slide, I want to just show you some examples of how descriptive statistics function. In table 1, we have agricultural exports. This is from standard publication, and you can see how they follow the principles of table. We have some principles made in tabulation. For example, there should be row headings, cost stores, there should be captions, there should be source. Everything is highlighted there. If you are sending your data analyst to do something for your company, maybe they are preparing an annual report, the knowledge of statistics will help to make the appropriate tables that will give you informed decision as to what to do to move the company forward. Look at the second table, manufacturing and non-manufacturing sector purchasing managers index. In this calculator, we have so many price indices, consumer indices, everything. You calculate, you put it on the table. Then inflation rates in selected countries. This is by the Organization of Economic cooperation and investment. So we see it, and the manager must be able to interpret and understand what is being presented. If you don't understand it, how you use it to improve on your own performance in your organization. That's why we need to be well informed in visual statistics in order to make better decision making. This is like a donut pick by a pie chart. It's one of the things they learn people from primary school level. But as we go ahead, we are able to do something and to understand at a glance, giving visualization to data. That is one of the advantages of statistics. Then we also want to do forecasting. You see a time series analysis that enables one to see the trend of movement of data. It's also very, very useful in helping to make decisions. We talk about seasonal variation. During this season, things are not going to move. We better think of what we can do to move to make sure that our company does not become bankrupt. That is part of using statistics in making informed business decisions. In financial statistics, like I mentioned before, you collect data, and from the data you collect, and the data has to be representative using some sampling techniques. Then you want to ensure, because normally we may not be able to get all the data. That's why data warehousing helps a lot, where you store the data, collect as many data as possible from various departments and put it in a big bin, where it should go off for analytics. You store it there, and after storing, they do some analytics on it, and it is used for other things in making this, in giving insights to the challenges at hand. The uncertainty of the inferences calls for need to determine the level of at which conclusions can be made. That's what we talk about, level of significance. So it's useful in carrying out experimental research when you want to see whether this product is effective or it's not effective. You are making various comparisons. For example, in tests of correlation, it's also, we have it's an differential statistic. You want to check whether a relationship between two variables are really, the relationship between two variables is really is valid. You need to do tests of correlation. We have other tests, one sample test. Business entrepreneur might say, oh, on the average, I make about 3 billion profits every year. That is a statement. We need to test it. And that is where hypothesis testing comes up. By testing, we may disprove what he's saying and say, no, you are saying it, but it is not statistically significant. And that gives insight into what he can do to ensure that he makes it in the business. We have the two sample tests that enables, we have branch in this place, another branch in this place. This is what is coming out from the two branches. Is there any difference in what they are making? We learn from the two sample tests in differential statistics. But when we are making inferences and using differential statistics, care must be making, there are some errors that occur. We have type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error is what I call the RA error, raw error. Raw error in the sense that you reject what you should accept. Rejecting a product. Your product is very good, and the community is rejecting it. Then there's a challenge. We have to minimize the type 1 error that is being made in the community using appropriate techniques to give you to help you to make informed decisions as to go about it. We call it producer's risk because the producer makes product and nobody is buying it as anticipated. I usually like to relate statistics when I'm teaching to everyday living. Type 1 error, the raw error, I say, okay, in marriage, you can make that error. Or ladies choosing life partner. A young boy comes, doesn't have money, no car, but he has a future. He will make it in life. But when the girl looks at the child, the boy, this man is not making, she rejects that boy. She's making type 1 error. She's rejecting what she should accept. Similarly, in type 2 error, accept is what I call the R error, accept what you should reject. A Yahoo boy with gleaming cars and money spraying on a girl, and then she's carried away, mesmerized, not knowing that the boy is a ritual mother. She's committing type 2 error. She's accepting what she should reject. So in business analysis, in differential statistics, there are statistical techniques using computational analysis that enhances minimizing these errors. Ladies and gentlemen, when we collect data in our analysis, what we want to do is to ensure that we clean the data. In the data mining, we come to that later. And in cleaning, you may discover that some data are missing that are relevant. So you have that in data collection process. But with modern tools that work on data, like data mining, data science, they have a way of cleaning the data. There's a way of transforming the data in order to solve the problem at hand. So there are so many methods which we cannot discuss here in order not to bore you. So we have three options when dealing with missing data. It's either you accept the data as it is, which you will not, or you delete all cases with all those that have missing data, or use other methods. To avoid missing data, ensure that the data are carefully collected, well coded, historical data are kept so that you can look out and adjust accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, missing data can bias your result. One, this is not complete. It does a lot in affecting your result and affecting your decision, because you're basing your answer on insights that are not complete. There are statistical methods using relevant software that can address such issues. We have what we call descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analysis. Generally, in business, we collect data in transactions. For example, in banking transactions, are permanently being collected. And then we need to use some online analytic process in doing some work on this large mass of data. After putting it in warehouse and doing data mining. Now, this online analytical proposition gives us different analytics that can be done. We have the descriptive type, the predictive type. From the names, you can guess what they talk about. That are some of the popular ones are that. The descriptive deals with analysis of historical data. What has happened in the past, which you get. That's why we must collect our data appropriately, put it in the data warehouse appropriately, and ensure that it's well stored, well cleaned, well transformed, and then extract it properly when it is needed. Description that is analysis deals with data, analysis of historical data using various methods. Mining historical data is descriptive. Descriptive analysis enables the manager to better understand the changes that have occurred in business and to identify reasons for past failures. Then the predictive ones, unlike descriptive, does not deal with outcomes. It does not deal with historical, but instead, as the name suggests, it predicts future events and also recommends what action can be taken in the future to enhance informed decision. Prescriptive analysis, unlike uses method of statistical techniques like modeling. There's no way you can avoid the statistics in analytics. So that's why statistics play a great role in arriving at a way of analyzing challenges, issues, dealing with it, and finding out what happens, what can be done in order to pass the information, communicate the information to relevant sources, and guide them in making informed data. Use of analytics help business managers to gain insights and improve their work, improve the decisions they make. Descriptive analysis tell us what has happened, while predictive shows us what will happen, and prescriptive tell us what could happen. They are useful tools in areas like risk management, fraud detection, and many other areas. Ladies and gentlemen, another important area in business where we make informed decisions is at looking at statistical quality control process. It's a very important thing that we're using in production, in even controlling the quality of your staff. Are you having the quality you deserve? Are they performing? Is this quality not adequate for our company to move our company forward? Are they making any contribution to enhance the profitability of our company? So statistical quality control, what we call SQC, deals with the use of statistical tools and techniques to measure, to maintain the overall quality of products and services so as to avoid undesirable outcomes like production of substandard goods. Some of my students have done research on use of statistical quality control in the bakery, in the in Nestle, manufacturing company like Nestle. Some have even worked on statistical quality control of your blood pressure, by which they take the data and carry out some of the analysis on it and know whether the blood pressure is being controlled or not. It's an interesting area for research. Like we said, it can be divided, the methods used can be divided into 3 categories, namely descriptive, statistical, process control, and acceptance sampling. In the descriptive statistics, statistics come up again and again. In anything you do want to control the product that you manufacture, you need statistics. This is important in dealing with estimable variations in production process and address whether your process of production is stable or not. The statistical process control method uses graphical control, display. There are so many graphs and which they are using we have the R bar, X bar, MP, and P chart, so many charts that will plot and you build, and that is part of the descriptives to be able to see whether the goods are being controlled and at what point is the control going haywire. It's very, very important. But then we have the statistical process control that uses other things to adjust, to help us to adjust to the entire. Then the acceptance sampling, that is used to know whether a group of part of lot should be accepted or not. And taking decision means you accept good items and you reject bad items. So changes in production of high quality food and services are tackled before they get out of hand. Ladies and gentlemen, new method is this data mining. Everybody is talking about data mining, knowledge. When you talk about data mining, we need to talk about data warehousing. What is a warehouse? A warehouse is a large place, like a big store where you store your goods, finished product. It could be finished product, it could be materials. Even in our own house, we have our own mini warehouse where we put things that we don't need on daily basis, but which we will definitely need later. Like the generator, like used tires. Some people use tires in planting some vegetables and little things. So you keep it there. In the same way, this warehousing helps in storing data. You see, in warehousing concept, data warehousing, you collect data from various departments and files. All this data is transformed to a large bank or where you keep all those data, and then when it is needed, you go into mining it. So it is a process of analyzing large database. The large database made from collecting various data from various departments will be analyzed to generate new insights about the data, and it involves extraction or digging out usable data. In mining, we know that it's not easy to mine. It's tedious. It does not produce results on time. And it can even lead to some people losing their lives while mining. But in this data mining, thank God for the development in information and communication technology. Within minutes, you can retrieve your usable data if you know how to go about it. And people are trained on data. The data scientist is trained to this data mining process because it's very, very important. Because they will ensure that they do data extraction, they do data cleansing before they can do analytics on it, and then they want to mine data and bring out results. It uses one or more of computer software, like Excel is one of the few ones, but there are other intensive ones to dig out the hidden patterns, the hidden gems in data, and bring out information that can be easily understood. Thank God that work starts from data, and from data we have modern techniques, modern gadgets, modern tools, especially of using computer, using machine learning and so on to be able to analyze the data. For example, in the data mining, the 3 disciplines there, you have the discipline of statistics. You must be good in statistics, and that brings up the statistics issue again. You must be good in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence means using machine intelligence to do what humans cannot do. We have the robotics that are going on. Then we have also the machine learning, where Data is analyzed with minimal human assistance using the machine. Managers of business can create effective strategies in various businesses to get information about their customers, resulting in optimal use of resources. Different types of data mining occur. We have the pictorial and so on. We are not concerned about it, but we are concerned about the use, how to generate usable data from a large mass of data from the warehouse that has been created, and how to work on this using the desired analytics and get the results that can enhance informed decision by the manager. Modern business in various sectors like healthcare, engineering, finance, they use this data mining to identify new customers, business opportunities, and then improving existing customer base. These are ways the company can move forward. Still on data mining, the mining systems are available for storing and analyzing from data. And they use statistical methods. Regression is used, association, correlation, classification, database designed for analysis from the warehouse, used by more companies with a strong consumer focus. And it enhances growth of the organization, customer satisfaction, and corporate profits. The phases of the data mining has some phases. We may not go into details about that, but I will just mention some of the phases. Data acquisition, you get the data from the warehouse, then you have to ensure that you clean up data, no dirty or incomplete data that can lead to system failures. So we have to also do the preparation and transformation, data analysis in form of modeling and forecasting. And finally, you communicate your reports to help the manager make his informed decision. Ladies and gentlemen, data mining can improve your marketing strategy, especially when the products are online. In conclusion, my dear ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about statistics, there's need for proper analysis of relevant data in any type of business enterprise to ensure we have the growth, we have the sustainability, we tackle problems that can be hindrances to the growth of the business, provided informed decision can be made from correct information obtained from data as a result of statistical techniques. So there's need for knowledge-backed informed decision by managers. And I'm recommending that organizations should, from time to time, train your staff on statistical tools. Don't think that, oh, it's for those in second. No. Why are they doing it in MBA? Why are we doing it in postgraduate studies, even at doctoral level? There's need for constant updating. Some have done statistics many, many years ago before, and they are still at work. Let's train them. Due to the availability of ICT, the data is collected and available in business, and this data must be appropriately processed to make sense. So data mining, as highlighted in this presentation, is a business intelligence so that you don't fall behind in modern day, tough, competitive environment. Strong online presence in companies making data in modern form dictates strength or make a break in your business. So managers, as I said, of other organizations needs to be trained. They can then be skillful to follow trends and get competitive advantage. Be skillful in modern technologies, like I mentioned before, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and exploration data analysis, using the correct analytical tool. The quality of input, process, and output of products and services can be better implemented using statistical quality control. But one thing we must mention, good record keeping is very, very important for the computers, but we need to back up our data, whatever data we are keeping, we need to back it up so that we don't lose data. So original historical data, you may want to say, you want to award 10 years, you want to give 10 years, somebody who has worked for 10 years service. So you have to go back to the historical data to see whether this person I want to give the award to, whether he has been performing well systematically. So there's need for good record of the original text, and then careful treatment of the data to enhance managers' ability to analyze past performance and predict future growth. Ladies and gentlemen, there are times when one can lie with statistics. I want to enjoin organizations to make attempts to avoid lying with statistics and deceiving others with statistical data that are not plausible, that are not true, and because you want to get some advantages over others. So the originality of data when used in making presentations with three people during the annual meeting, the annual general membership meeting, or stakeholders, they present wrong data. They lie with statistics. They do all sorts of things. I've seen so many data on lying with statistics. That should not be our portion. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for the opportunity to make this presentation. And here I show some of the references I use. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving me your attention. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. I'd like to, on behalf of everyone, all the participants here, thank Dr. Mrs. Oluranti Adedayo. I mean, I'd like to applaud her for spending time, to share a subject that sounds, very technical to a whole lot of it. I mean, it's Greek to a lot of business people, but it's very, 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 very important. I mean, the first thing for me is that a principle I learned a long time ago. Once you cannot measure anything, you cannot improve upon it. And I mean that reminds me of a friend of mine whose family works, himself and his wife work in the United States, live and work in the United States. She is a nurse. And when she came to Nigeria, she was on a visit, and she had a visit to our office. I just felt, oh, this is an opportunity to learn from her. And when she was talking about the importance of measurement, and that what's going to be very difficult for her if she relocates, if she comes back to Nigeria and wants to work as a nurse, is that she will confront the problem of, measurement, because virtually everything is measured. I can tell you, you can never improve. You don't know what is going on. It's so critical to measure. And data mining, I mean, data collection, data curation, data warehousing, data analysis, and using data to, to predict, to infer, to predict, to describe. They are quite very essential if organizations want to. I mean, I'm just wondering whether, nobody seems to be listening, whether Dr. Adedayo, thank you very much for this great presentation. That's from Adora Ojo. Thank you. We're waiting for your comments as well as questions. I want to ask Dr. Mrs. Adedayo as a first question. At what point can a business person do statistics himself or herself? Is he at the point of collection, or you will need experts across the value chain of data collection as data analysis? I mean, thank you very much, Godwin Okri, one of our great faculty members. Thorough analysis. Thank you very much. All right. Please keep it coming. Babajide's iPhone is raising his hand. I'll give you this opportunity. From Adekule Owoyomi to everyone. Thank you, Doctor. All right. So at what point can a businessman, whether it's Grace Majekodi, we thank you so much, Dr. Adedayo. That was a very insightful one. Two participants are raising their hand, kind allowance, and I will allow that. But maybe I should allow them first before I ask my questions, because they are here. We are here because of the participants that keep calling. Babajide, please, can you unmute and ask your question? And then the next one will be Mr. Kandi Lansing. There's also Faleye Dotun. I'm glad this is generating the kind of buzz that we really desire. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much.
My name is Babajide Olowodala.
I guess as much. Thank you. Thank you for joining us there. So it's such a big privilege to have you. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I was going to ask Dr. Mrs. Adedayo, you gave two types of errors that we can make in coming to a decision. The young lady who saw no promise in a young man and decided, look, this one is no good, and made a decision based on fickle statistics. The other one saw a Yahoo boy who had he had the cars, he had the shine, he had everything, but is a 100 meters dash boy. Can you guide us? What errors did Nigerians make in choosing Buhari as president?
Oh my God.
Is it type 1 error or type 2?
It's a very interesting question.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to throw it to the house. Let the house say their own. If you understand type 1 and type 2 error now.
Dr. Adedayo, you need to wait. You need to wait for it because there are other questions coming. Dr. Babajide is a man we have a lot of respect for, his opinions, and is one of our huge faculties and supporters in this place. He was here and he broke our record. He broke everything by speaking to us about Jesus' management model. I had the privilege of being at the launch of the book. It's important that this place is funding books. All right. I had the privilege of being at the launch of Dr. Babajide's book. It's a book that if you get in touch with me, if you DM me, I'm going to get how you can get a copy. You need to lay your hands on that book. That's an aside. Mr. Kandi Lansing, we have the boss is coming. Can you unmute and let's have your intervention? Dr. Adedayo, hold that question on your left hand. You are going to take about 3 questions and then
I have a pen. Yes.
Tony Ojo, I have not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a follow-up question that I have.
Okay.
Based on your response, how does the church avoid making a type 1 or type 2 error in 2023? It's going to be very critical. So those are the 2 reflections I have. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. It takes from one PhD to another. I mean, these are very heavy questions. So Dr. Adedayo, hold it to your left hand and don't let it slip. Mr. Kandi Lansing, can you intervene, please? Hello.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please, Mr.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adedayo, for your presentation. The question I have is a very short one, and that is, I read a piece in this day newspaper, maybe a year ago or a year and a half, and the title was How to Lie with Statistics. How to lie with statistics, how to deceive people with statistics. And being a business person myself, I know that a few companies on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, they have, I won't mention the name of the companies, some of the companies have been heavily penalized or sanctioned for putting out figures that was statistically correct, but intended to deceive the investing public. I don't want to mention names. Those of us who have been very familiar with the antics and the practices of companies who try to track the performance of their stocks, and they don't want to do anything that will affect the performance of their stock. They do some things statistically that misinforms and attracts investors to that stock. So how do you check out the integrity of the data and the analyst? How do we check the integrity? How can you control and check the integrity of the data? Because they can fool you from data gathering, they can equally fool you from analysis. How does a well-meaning business person church leader, Nigerian, how does he hedge himself against deception using statistics? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lansing. Also a great faculty on this platform. And I mean, his session was extremely, very exciting. He also was close to breaking, our platform, when you spoke. Let's take one more, but before we take one more, I'd like to quickly bring us, I've brought to you Godwin Okri, a real estate mogul and presenter who has a program going on BBC as well as who has also spoken on this platform. Thank you. Adekunle Owoyemi, who joins us from the UK, he's a scholar, he's saying thank you, Doc. Grace, thank you so much, Dr. Adedayo, very insightful. Thank you very much, Grace, great professional. Professor Mrs. Camilla Ansing, to everyone, thank you very much for this presentation, Dr. Adedayo. You have demonstrated a good mastery of the subject. God bless you, man. Thank you. Sam Adeboale had, great mind, please, a leader, a leader indeed, a leader of next generation. Ma, can there be a good statistical data for Nigeria inflow and outflow in terms of our economic projection? Outflow in terms of our economic projection to avoid recession. Okay, so you also write that down. And all right, Adebola Aderibigbe, thank you, Doctor. That was a brilliant presentation. This is also an academic. I know it's the university done. Yejide Olanrewaju, thanks so much for this insightful lecture, my great one. Thank you, thank you. Yejide Olanrewaju is a great woman in one of the big regulatory institutions in this country. Kule Adedeji is interested in your book, Dr. Babajide. Anybody who is interested, please, you can send it on this platform so that I can collect. Because Dr. Babajide is a global citizen. He's here today. You can't say it's like in wind. You can't say where he's going to show up next. So if you're interested, you send me a direct message, DM me, or you send it on this platform. Okay, then I think there's one more question before Doctor we start. I hope you are noticing the questions. That I thought I saw one gentleman called Fale raising his hand to ask a question. Okay, Dr. Mrs. Oluranti Adedayo, can you go on and address the questions raised? So, so far.
Thank you very much for these interesting questions. And like I said and interjected while they were giving the question, some of these questions, I want to throw it to them to also hear their own opinion, especially the Buhari case. So while I'm answering the others, let others think and make their own comments. Anyway, so, I hope that is okay by everybody. You ask at what point?
Well, I'm not sure, but you are the boss. You have the right. You have the right to accept the question.
Okay, I will do my best to attack, but I also want to hear from others.
Okay, sorry, Fale Dotu wants to. I don't want to deny anybody who wants to raise. Who is raising his hand? Fale Dotu, please. Can you ask a question before Dr. Adedayo will, address this? Please unmute. Thank you. Hello. I hope he hasn't moved on. Okay, Dr. Adedayo, can you go ahead?
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor Tunde. We were asking at what point can a business person make some errors in statistics, I think. Has to do some statistics. So you can make the error from the point of data collection. Before you can collect data, you have to create your instrument, construct your instruments. And in constructing your instrument, if you don't have the essential questions, what we call them items in the questionnaire, there will be, whatever you collect will have errors and will not meet the relevant needs of the issues at hand. So we have to be very careful in making errors, and it's better to seek opinion, another opinion, for them to see whatever you have in mind, make a rough points of it, and show those who are experts in it. They will be able to bring in ideas that can ensure you have a good instrument. Without an appropriate instrument, measuring that are on your focus of attention will not be able to get good results. So that's one point that I want to emphasize. Then another person, Dr. Babajide's question, error is error. Error is not desirable, whether type 1 or type 2 error. We have what we call a level of significance in statistics. It can help us to calculate the probability of committing this error, this type of type 1 and type 2 error. Error is an undesirable thing. That's why there's need for us to put our heads together, analyze the situation at hand, analyze the challenges we're having, analyze what Buhari has done so far for the country, and then where there are areas, and ensure that the errors you have seen, we don't make the same mistake. The law will help us to choose the correct president in 2023. No aspect, no, don't put emotion into it. Be subjective. Maybe objective, not subjective, to ensure that we critically look before we go and vote for the person coming. Our votes can count, but in the votes counting, we also have to be very careful. Line by line statistics can come up. Everybody has to be on ground. Yes, another question I saw from Mr. Lawansi. People lie with statistics, and they are statistically significant, statistically correct, but we cannot leave this out. No analysis is 100% perfect. And there are people who are so clever that they know how to hide, like James. It should take a correct mining of that analysis to be able to detect the errors that they are making. People have been lying with statistics all over. We have it. Even those that are our students, our marker in WAEC exam, they do a lot of things there. In the school, marks for sex in the university, it occurs. There are so many things, and they cover up the tracks. Whatever I know is that the Bible says, your sin will find you out. And that brings me to the story of Achan. Achan, the Bible in Judges. I'm sorry for those of you who are not religious. Judges 7. He committed a sin and was hidden. I tell you, sampling technique, multi-stage sampling technique, fished him out. And that's statistics. So the person who committed the error, statistically, the errors will be identified and will be punished, because the Bible says, be sure your sin will find you out. Then any goal in data, yes. Then Pastor Adeboale's question. You see, the National Bureau of Statistics is collecting data, but there are challenges they're having. Challenges of funds, challenges of incompleteness of data, challenges of people not coming forth, companies trying to hide things so that they will not be able to be taxed. I think there's need for orientation of all Nigerians. We must have a reorientation to run away from this corruption deal that is affecting everybody, right from the nursery to the higher level. So there's need for us to be more careful. And that's why if we are informed, if I'm informed and I know a little bit of statistics, if I see any data analysis that they have done, I will say there's error there. So all of us that are watching, please ensure you improve on your statistical knowledge. That's what God bless you. I think I've tried to tackle, and if anybody has anything to say about Buhari and errors, you can say one or two things. We don't make the same error in 2023.
Thank you. Dr. Fale, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to congratulate Dr. Adedayo, a senior mommy and senior colleague, retired, but not tired, for this beautiful presentation this evening. I want to make a contribution as to the importance of statistics, that there is nothing anybody can do in this world without statistics.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I don't know. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, can
Hello?
hear you. Yeah,
you can hear me?
Yes,
I said I would love to congratulate Dr. Adedayo for this academic presentation.
Thank you.
And then I just want to make a little bit of a comment, not really question, that the importance of statistics cannot be overemphasized. And the major problem we are having, even as a nation today, is because of the statistics that we have. Most of the things that we base our decisions on, they are faulty information, they are faulty data. And somebody asked a question about error in the analysis. It's not the analysis that is actually having the error, but the foundation. And the Bible says if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? Most of the information we have in Nigeria today, even the one collected by Bureau of Statistics, they are forged statistics. And that's what is bringing us to where we are today. Until we revisit the way we collect our data, we may not get a good result at the end of the day. That's my little contribution that I want to make.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your intervention. Does anybody want to? You see, Dr. Wadji has raised an important question, and you know, I don't want to get personal, but I know some people voted for the president in his first time, and after the first time they had to change their mind, or they continue. Some people also, you know, continue. So, you know, how can, he was asking a very pointed question. And Dr. Adedayo asked whether it's type 1 or type 2 error. It's like type 1 or type 2 diabetes. I don't think there is either one of them is good. I don't think, you know, both of them are not good. Now, if you then say we are here already, how can we, it depends on which political divide in which you are. If you think the president has done a good job, like a governor that went to Aso Rock and said, may God give us another president like the current president, and people said, what are you talking about? I mean, some people said God forbid, and some people said amen. So it depends on where you are, on this divide. If you think the president has not done well, you are saying we shouldn't make this kind of mistake again. But if you think the president has done well, you are saying, wow, let's have consolidation. Let's continue with this. So I don't know whether anybody with the privilege of facts can help us.
Sir, can I say something about the issue of Buhari?
Without being overtly emotional,
without being political.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I am not a politician, but by the grace of God, I'm in academics. If anybody asks me to evaluate Buhari, I would say Buhari does not have problem. We are the people that are having problem. The people that are surrounding Buhari, that are not even telling us the truth about what is happening. So it's still based
Kelvin,
on
can you mute? Please, Kelvin, can you mute? Kelvin, can you mute? Can you have Kelvin mute?
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that there is no problem with Buhari. I think we have problem with ourselves in not telling the people the truth about what is happening in the nation. People go to Abuja to tell Buhari that all is well. When we know that, like you mentioned, the issue of a governor praying that we should have people like Buhari. It's not Buhari that is the problem. It is we as a nation that we are not ready to speak the truth. And as long as we don't give correct information, Nigeria is not going anywhere. Come to the issue of population. When we have population, people sit in their home and they are filling forms. And this is what we are using as a nation, that this is the statistic that has been collected. People are paid to go to visit houses. They stay in their home to fill all these forms. And at the end of the day, we have also a number of people in this place, and people will now be asking, where do you see them? I'm saying it, I'm on here now, telling people that people fill forms. Let us talk to our conscience. 2023 is coming. The election we are talking about, are we going to count it? So everything is based on falsehood. So we don't expect anything good from anything that is falsehood. Buhari is just one person. Where we have in our environment, what are we doing there? Are we doing it right? I think that's the question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your intervention. The beauty of this platform is that we have serious-minded thought leaders, distinguished Nigerians, professionals, academics, business leaders, entrepreneurs. And it's amazing that, we feel highly honored, to have you once in a fortnight to talk about issues that are very, 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 very critical, very, very, very important to business as well as our environment and to our nation and, to the rest of the world. Let me, I don't know whether there's going to be any form of additional intervention. I have about 3 people still raising their hands. Christopher Okiki, Dr. Chris Okiki, are you raising your hand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please go ahead. And then
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I want to also celebrate Dr. Adedayo for that wonderful presentation. Actually, I join in. But we are talking about evidence-informed decision, and I'm really worried. Why I'm worried is because we are not actually addressing or hitting the nail on the head, especially for those who are in the academic. Why I'm saying this is that there are data, and I mean genuine data, collected data, analyzed and submitted, and they are lying fallow. Most of our theses are genuine, and the recommendation, the contribution to knowledge are there on the shelf. No government, there's no government policy taking up this data, this correct data for implementation, and that has been the bane of our issue. I think when we begin to, I did my PhD, most of Dr. Adedayo, what is the level of our PhD thesis to the national economy? 0. When you compare to other nations like South Africa, like other nations that are actually value data, you will observe that they take their data very, very serious. We have correct data. I have seen, and I have a lot of fact and evidence to back this up. There are data on our shelf, but there is no national policy taking up our research output for national policy, for national implementation. That is the bane. That's one of the bane of our national crisis that we have today. That is just my own submission, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Okiki. I happen to know Dr. Okiki is an academic. I have a PhD in library studies. So it's talking from the point of strength. Dr. Obajide, are you still holding your hand, or is it the same one that is still up?
No, sorry, I didn't put it down.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm not. Thank you. I'm not sure we have answered your question, but I think, but is concerned about my to add to your question, somehow, the position of a church in Nigeria is not to look at statistics. I think a whole lot of faith leaders, particularly pastors, they are teaching us that, although, I buy into grace, they're not teaching us hard work. They want grace to substitute hard work. And I don't think there's a theology like that. I think that's alien to scriptures. That hard work, you don't need to work hard. Work hard in gathering data, work hard in analyzing data, work hard in using data to predict. The thing, as far as I'm concerned, and I think someone of faith too, is that the only thing from the Christian perspective, from biblical theology, thus saith the Lord. This is what God is saying. And the channel is clean. We are sure that this is actually what God is saying. That is the greatest thing, that is greater than information. And even that is information. So when we have an environment that favors sudden wealth, sudden miracles, pastors even preach about 24 hours miracles at the expense of a life of process, a life that respects that God has set some laws in motion, that the sun will rise in the morning and it will come at night, and will go down at night. And if there is no reason for you to suspend the sun, I mean, you know, and you have a miracle, you have to live by that. That if you throw something up, it's God's rule that it's going to come down. If you have an environment in which everybody is saying, may God help us, without looking at facts and, figures and analyzing data, then I think, the church is going to still be in this same position for a long time to come. But again, that's my, opinion. We're going to wrap this up now.
Sorry, may I make a comment on the church and data?
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yes,
Mark.
if the church is not careful, statistics can lead some members to hellfire. Why am I saying so? The church wants data, number of those that are born again, number of those that have the Holy Spirit's baptism, number of new people falsify because they want to impress the pastors. We need to be very, very careful. Because somebody you say has been born again, maybe it comes about the 7th time. There are ways of analyzing that statistically. So there's need to train church members on how to collect data, and there's need to train church members on not lying with statistics. It's a pity it's occurring in most churches, whereby workers, pastors, they lie with statistics in order to get divine favor. Let us not allow statistics to take us to hellfire. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. And if we don't, I'm still trying to check the chat room. Adebola Oniorisa is saying measurement, statistics, great tools. Thank you, Doctor, for the insightful presentation. Thank you very much. And we are going to be winding down on this, but the takeaway, for all of us is that we need to be very dispassionate in terms of measuring our environment, in terms of measuring what is happening. I mean, you need to know, to have an idea of how your blood pressure is going. You need to measure to have an idea of how your health it is. You need to do checkup. And all of this, they are not things that our environment favors for many reasons. Either because we have leaders who are telling us these things are not important. We have people who have gone to school there, but they are behaving as if they have not gone to school. They think it's just not important. I mean, how do you know your blood pressure is stable, except it is measured? How do you know whether you have raised blood sugar, except it's measured? These are tools. How do you know? We even have in our culture, sometimes it's our culture, they said they don't, in Yoruba, they said they don't count the number of children for children. If you don't count them, how do you make provision for them? There are families, the father does not know the number of children he has. How can he make provision? And then we want to send our children to nations that are making plans based on the figures, the data they have gathered, and they're making projections. I mean, Dr. Adedayo, just, as a passing shot, diesel has moved from, has gone over 100%. What will you want? What kind of trend do you see? I know you are not a business strategist, and people can help us here. What trend? What do you want? What do you want businesses to do? The eateries, the hospitals that are relying on diesel, and for how long do we think this is going to be? What kind of informed decision can anybody, get in this? I don't know whether anybody can help us, because that is the elephant in the room. There is no light from national grid. Diesel is what a whole lot of businesses go to, come to the rescue. And at the beginning of the year or late last year, they made a projection based on particular figures. Now that projection is totally thrown out of the window. How does a businessman make a decision based on this situation? That would be, Dr. Adedayo, if you have a word on that, fine.
I just want to say a word on it.
Yeah.
a businessman having problem with all these things that are extraneous factors that we call it. If you have planned, you also plan for alternative source of energy. Like we have a lot of sun in Nigeria. Why not plan for, this solar energy that we can? The business person, you must not depend totally on what is happening. Checking your data, you have been collecting data over the years in your company, and you know that this in case of uncertainty that can happen, what are the alternatives? So we also need to explore alternatives. And solar energy should be working in Nigeria. I know of a university in Kwara State, Adedayo University. They have solar energy in their secondary, in their university, and they even gave to the community where they are. So we need to explore solar energy. When I went to the UK, my friend with whom I stayed used solar energy and even gave some to the national grid. We need people like that in Nigeria to help us to improve on that area. So what happens is the issue of planning, forecasting, anticipating some problems and challenges that can occur, and then planning for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last parting shot from Dr. Chris Kiki. Wonderful presentation and contributions from the floor, but may I ask, is there a plan for an uptake of this great intellectual discourse? I want to give you that challenge. Please, without wanting to list everybody that is on this platform because we're shutting down a couple of minutes, I want to thank you for all the participants. The list is endless. Great minds. Mr. Kolo Agulano, it's been a long time joining us from, across the Atlantic. Thank you very much for joining us. The list of great Reverend Mrs. Kainde, great Mr. Tunde Ayeye, so great minds joining us today. I want to say a big thank you, Henrietta Fagbo, and Ruth Oluranti, so many people. I want to thank you. Join us in the next 2 weeks for another intellectual feast with practical applications on how to solve business challenges and challenges in our environment. Once again, it's been touched on business sustainability in association with Master Skill. Send me a direct message if you are interested in a copy of Dr. Babajide's book, and I tell you, it's a book that you like to get your hand on and read the Jesus model of leadership and how countercultural it is for leaders of today as well as tomorrow. Who knows? If you can put this book in the hands of emerging leaders or those who are either aspiring or pretending to lead us in 2023, who knows, what that can do. Once again, on behalf of my my colleagues, the entire team on the from Touchstone, I want to say thank you, Dipo Ogundipe. Thank you, Dipo. Thank you, Muiwa Alabi. Thank you, Buki Oluyemi, and the rest of the team. God bless you, Dr. Adedayo. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the privilege. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you all, and God bless you. Thank you. See you again in 2 weeks' time. God bless.
Thank you.